because I seen you at the All-Star game before and you wanted to score and not pass the ball.
No. This guy said, did she really say you can't be selfish when she takes 30 shots and misses 27 of them instead of passing to her teammates? And this guy puts all the face palms. Good at basketball, so she has to show some skin to stay relevant. A lot of people called her out over wearing heels.
Angel Reese has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons, and her latest stunt at the Super Bowl was no exception. She showed up, made herself the center of attention, and ended up facing criticism instead of praise. It was supposed to be a moment for her to shine, but instead, it just showed everything people have been saying about her for a long time. While other athletes were locked in, preparing for the season, she was busy playing the role of a celebrity. And the worst part is that even her own fans couldn't defend her this time. Reese has built a reputation for herself, but not necessarily for the right reasons. She has been called out for being a ball hog, missing easy shots, and padding her stats with rebounds off her own missed layups. And yet, she had the audacity to criticize another player for not passing the ball. The hypocrisy was impossible to ignore. People were quick to call her out, pointing out that she herself is known for taking bad shots instead of making the right plays. It was like watching someone throw stones while living in a glass house. The Super Bowl was supposed to be about football, but somehow, Reese found a way to make it about her. She arrived dressed to grab attention, and she got exactly what she wanted, just not in the way she had hoped. Instead of being praised, she was roasted online. Many pointed out that while she was busy chasing clout, other players were focused on improving their game.
Undeniable, with her name spreading like wildfire throughout the entire basketball universe.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark connects!
One name kept coming up in comparison, Caitlin Clark. Clark, unlike Reese, doesn't need to seek out the spotlight. She lets her performance on the court do the talking. While Reese was making headlines for all the wrong reasons, Clark was in the gym, working on her game. She skipped the Super Bowl entirely, choosing instead to train and prepare for the upcoming season. This wasn't surprising to anyone who has followed Clark's career. She has always been about the work, not the drama. The numbers don't lie. Clark's influence on the sport is undeniable. Her jersey retirement ceremony alone pulled in 1.1 million viewers, more than an actual game featuring Reese. That's the difference between the two players. Clark doesn't even have to step on the court to draw massive attention. Meanwhile, Reese's games struggled to attract even 100,000 viewers. The contrast could not be clearer. One player is about greatness, and the other is about attention. Reese's struggles on the court are well documented. She has a habit of taking bad shots, missing layups, and relying on second-chance points to pad her stats. She may put up double-doubles, but when most of those rebounds come from her own missed shots, it's not exactly impressive. The reality is, when she's on the bench, her team often plays better. The offense flows more smoothly. The defense tightens up, and suddenly, it feels like actual basketball is being played.
Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP honors. She ain't beating Asia Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over.
This is a harsh truth that Reese and her fans don't want to admit. If she were as great as she claims, her absence would hurt the team, not improve it. But game after game, the evidence keeps piling up. When she's off the floor, her teammates get better looks, the ball moves more freely, and the team actually plays like a cohesive unit. That's not a coincidence. And yet, despite all of this, Reese continues to act like she's on top of the basketball world. She makes bold claims, calls out other players, and tries to dominate the conversation. But the reality is, her influence is fading. People are seeing through the act. They're realizing that beyond the social media drama and the flashy appearances, there isn't much substance. Reese's time in the unrivaled league was supposed to prove that people watch basketball for her too. But the reality is, without Caitlin Clark, women's basketball struggles to draw big audiences. The numbers make that painfully clear. Clark's games are must-watch events. Reese's games, not so much.
Don't no real one shoot no hoop. They learn home economics. All the ladies in one that can be played. Yeah, so she bit sales to get you all in fame.
At this point, Reese is at a crossroads. She can either double down on the clout chasing and continue being a social media personality first and a basketball player second, or she can put in the work and try to change the narrative. Because right now, the story being told about her isn't flattering. She's becoming known more for her missed shots and questionable decisions than for anything positive she's done on the court.
Good to eat. Good to eat by JC.
A little head fake. Reese, flick of the wrist. Air ball again, no. McCowan takes it away, still loose.
The brutal truth is that Reese is failing in ways that can't be ignored. Her shot selection is poor, her efficiency is abysmal, and her impact on the game is questionable at best. She may be putting up numbers, but they aren't numbers that translate to winning. And as time goes on, more people are starting to recognize that. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to separate herself as the true face of women's basketball. She doesn't need gimmicks, controversy, or off-court distractions. She just plays the game at an elite level, and people respect her for it. That's the difference between someone who is great and someone who is just trying to look great. Reese can keep pretending that she's the star, but the reality is, the game has already moved past her. If she wants to change that, she's going to have to do a lot more than just show up at high-profile events. She's going to have to prove that she actually belongs at the top, because right now, the numbers, the performances, and even her own fans are saying otherwise.
Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from the...
Caitlin Clark is dominating women's basketball in a way that few athletes ever have. Her popularity is skyrocketing, and the numbers prove it.
Mixing it up, sticking with that zone right there in rotation.
Oh, that is just filthy from Juju.
I thought she had Marshall downstairs. She had a front post up.
Juju rattled it out. Offense.
When Iowa played USC on February 3rd, it became the second most watched game in NCAA history. That alone says a lot about how much people care about her. Just by attending a game, she brings in millions of viewers.
For 20 years, he thrilled us. He made us scratch our head. What did we just see? What did we just witness? And he gave us 5 NBA championships.
The last time something similar happened was during Kobe Bryant's jersey retirement ceremony in 2017. That was a major event, but Clark is drawing similar numbers just by stepping on the court. She does not have to create controversy or chase attention. People watch her because she is simply that good. She is setting records, breaking barriers, and making history while staying completely focused on basketball. She works hard, and her dedication shows. Her Nike commercial went viral without her even trying. That is the power of being great at what you do. On the other hand, Angel Reese is struggling to gain attention for her actual game. She makes headlines for things outside basketball, but when it comes to performance, she is not delivering at the same level. Instead of focusing on improving, she is more interested in social media, events, and complaining about her WNBA paycheck. Caitlin Clark does not waste time with those distractions. She is constantly improving, and that is why she is the face of women's basketball right now.
Off the court. But today I must call her one of the biggest hypocrites of 2024.
One clear example of this was during the Super Bowl. Angel Reese was making headlines for her outfit and social media activity, but Caitlin Clark was working. She was seen doing drills, staying engaged with basketball, and continuing to inspire young athletes. This is the difference. One player is focused on being great, and the other is focused on being seen. Even the numbers back this up. Reese struggles with finishing around the basket, which is one of the most basic skills in basketball. People miss layups all the time, but not like she does. The stats show she is one of the worst finishers in the league. That means out of every professional player, she is at the bottom. That is a major problem, especially for someone who wants to be considered a top player. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is setting records. She is not only one of the best scorers, but she is also a complete player. She plays smart, controls the game, and does not waste opportunities. That is why her fans are so loyal. Wherever she goes, they follow. Her games bring in massive viewership, and her impact on women's basketball is undeniable. The difference between these two players is not just about skill, it is about mindset. Clark is all about getting better. She does not waste time complaining. She does not chase attention. She puts in the work.
And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, seems to care more about being famous than being great. Instead of working on her weaknesses, she gets defensive. Instead of proving her critics wrong, she makes excuses. Even Reese's own fans are starting to see the truth. They supported her because they believed in her potential, but at some point, potential has to turn into results. Right now, it is not happening. She complains about being underpaid, but has not shown that she is worth more. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is proving her value every time she steps on the court. That is why she is not just famous, she is respected. The ESPN rankings made this even more obvious. And as expected, Caitlin Clark is on the top. She is breaking records in viewership, jersey sales, and overall impact on the game. Her name is associated with success, Angel Reese barely made it into the top 15. For someone who talks so much about being great, that ranking tells a different story. Hype can only take you so far. You need results. The Indiana Fever has built a strong roster around her. They added Natasha Howard, a WNBA champion known for her defense and scoring ability. They also signed Dewana Bonner, a 6'4" star who can score at will. Sophie Cunningham joined the team as well, bringing toughness and a fiery, competitive spirit. These players didn't just end up in Indiana by accident. They wanted to be there because they believe in Clark. Meanwhile, things are not looking great for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The team has struggled to attract top free agents. While Reese has talent, she has not yet proven that she can lead a team to success. Her fans often defend her, saying rankings and opinions don't matter, but if she were ranked in the top 5, those same fans would be celebrating. The truth is, Clark has earned her respect by delivering on the court, while Reese has been more focused on social media and personal branding.
Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
Clark's influence goes beyond basketball. She has become one of the biggest names in sports. When she plays, arenas are packed. When she speaks, people listen. The WNBA knows her value, and they are treating her like a superstar from day one. The Fever are not waiting for her to develop over time. They are building a winning team around her right now. That says a lot about what they believe she can do.
Season tickets sold out already.
Yeah, like, don't be dumb, WNBA.
Double prices, but let's be real. That's the Caitlin Clark effect.
Same thing with Wemby. They put him on TV every day too. Like,
some critics argue that Clark is overhyped, but the numbers don't lie. She is setting records, drawing millions of viewers, and making basketball more popular than ever. When a player can impact the game on that level, they deserve the attention. Reese is still trying to prove she belongs in the same conversation.
Line looking. Here's Clark. She fires and goes! She hit it!
The truth is, Caitlin Clark is on another level. She is changing the game and inspiring the next generation. She is not focused on drama. She is focused on winning. That is why she is the face of women's basketball, and that is why her legacy will last. Now, before you leave, just don't forget to comment down your thoughts on this whole situation. And while you're down there, make sure to smash that subscribe button as well.